Think of it like planting a seed. Every action you take is a seed of energy. And energy is the language that the universe speaks. That seed grows into a reflection, a mirror of the effort that you put in. So the question is, are you happy with what's growing? All right, welcome everyone. First, let me say thank you all for showing up today. Not just physically, but mentally. Okay, I know your time is valuable. We both know that and respect that. And the fact that you're here means that you're serious about growing, learning, and leveling up your life. So we've been really working hard at, taking big ideas and powerful concepts and shrinking them down into these small, short masterclass live streams, mini masterclasses. And we've done even more now to bring it down to hopefully a 20-25 minute mini masterclass for you that gets straight to the point. All right. Of course, if you have questions, we're happy to stick around at the end for a bit of Q&A. You can drop them in the comments and we will reply to them. And for anyone watching the replay, just go ahead and type hashtag replay with your question, and then we'll circle back around to actually comment on it after we get that notification. All right. Now, before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you noticed how life feels like it's moving faster and faster than ever?
Hmm.
Yet somehow we're all feeling more disconnected, right? We've got all these tools to stay connected, social media, instant messaging, video calls, but still people seem lonelier and more isolated. In fact, there's news reports of being an epidemic. All right. Let me share a quick story. I used to have a little dog. We used to have a little dog, and she recently passed away. Well, when we had that dog, we would walk her every day, rain or shine. And when I did, I'd make a point to say hello or wave at the people that pass by. Now, I got different responses. Some people lit up, genuinely smiling back as if saying, "Thank you for seeing me." Right? Then there was others who smiled stiffly, almost as if it hurt. And then there were some who just dropped their gaze entirely, avoiding eye-to-eye contact, like I might turn them to stone or something. And I definitely don't have the Medusa hair, right? But that small interaction tells me everything I need to know about how we're feeling as a society. Listen, we crave connection. It's genetically in us. Okay. But so many of us are too guarded, too rushed, or too checked out to give it or receive it. So here's the thing: connection isn't just about other people, it's about connecting within yourself. Okay. Connecting with yourself. And that requires something many of us have forgotten, which is confidence. Right? But confidence doesn't just show up, out of nowhere. It's built through action, through trying, through failing, through learning, and ultimately doing. Think of it like planting a seed. Every action you take is a seed of energy, and energy is the language that the universe speaks. That seed grows into a reflection, a mirror of the effort that you put in. So the question is, are you happy with what's growing? If not, it's time to try something different, don't you think? Right? But here's the kicker: too many people quit after their first try. It's taking too long, they say, or
Hmm.
this isn't working. What they don't realize is that the result, the reflection, is feedback, and it's a nudge to tweak, adjust, and keep going. So everything we do is like casting a stone into a pond, and the ripples that follow are a reflection of the energy, the intention, and the effort behind it all. And each action creates an outcome, a reflection of what you started with. So the real question is, does that outcome align with what you wanted? If not, it's an opportunity to adjust, right? To try again with a new approach. But here's where many tend to get stuck. They stop at the first ripple, if it's not perfect, right? They throw up their hand and they say, it's taking too long. But what they miss is that even the initial result is valuable. It's feedback, right? It's not just a reflection of the idea itself, but of the effort you put into it. And most importantly, it's a reflection of you. The key is to keep refining until the ripples match your vision. So today, we want to help you to break out of this cycle of shortcuts and quick fixes. Let's shift gears and show you how to create meaningful actions that builds confidence, connection, and success. It's not a long session, but it's jam packed with insights. So get ready, hold on. We live in an age of fast everything, right? Fast food, fast results, fast entertainment, fast response. But today, let's hit pause for a moment. Let's reflect on what truly matters, the energy we put out and the reflections we want to see coming back. Sound good? Let's dive in, Ross.
All right. So we realize that there are failures. Yes, there are setbacks. And yes, there are small successes and huge successes. But only you know which one of them matches the effort that you expended towards it. Okay, so for those of you who are just like rolling your eyes and the others who are saying, I don't know all the circumstances, I do. I'm pretty sure I do. Both of us do. I've made far more mistakes and had more failures than I care to imagine. Not only in business, but in my personal life as well. But the motto I have lived by for most of my life has held true and allowed me to keep my eye on the prize. And it's regardless of circumstances. Today, I am better than I was yesterday. That's all I want. And it's a compounding effect that is staggering. So keep this in mind, because it resonates with me. Yours might be quite different, but think of it this way. If you committed yourself to being 1% better each day, after a year, you'd be 365 degrees or percent better than you are today. So over 3 times what you are today with just a 1% improvement every single day. Most people have heard the story of Thomas Edison and his thousands of tries to build a light bulb. Actually, I think it was 1,000. And this is exactly the same premise. He set an intention, create a plan, and take action. His intention, I want to replace the oil lamp and create lasting light at night. His plan, I will start by using these materials and this science to create a bulbish sort of thing, because he wasn't sure how this was going to transpire, what it was going to turn into, because it was still up here. And then he took action. And from this point is the universal system of processes: modify, enhance, develop. We're going to call that MEDS for short, until the intended outcome is reached. So in Edison's case, it was over 1,000 processes of MED. And like me, he didn't define them as failures, and neither should you. They were just simply another understanding, another method that didn't work. And this method is used in every single aspect of life, from sports pros like Tom Brady, who's always looking for better ideas and techniques to improve himself. And I think he's getting the results. His research found that the body loses energy as we sleep. And special imagery showed sparks of energy coming off of the body during sleep. So he helped develop a type of sleepwear that retains and reflects back that energy that he was losing while he was sleeping. thus maximizing his body's retention of energy. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci was so far ahead and always researching, experimenting, and creating and curious. Scientists like Marie Curie won 2 Nobel Prizes testing, modifying, enhancing, and developing better research on radioactivity. And the great actors of our time, all perfecting their crafts, testing, modifying, enhancing, and developing their characters. Many actually living the lifestyles of the characters that they wanted to portray. I remember reading that story of Heath Ledger, who literally locked himself in a hotel room and fanatically developed his Oscar-winning Joker character. And unfortunately, though, in creating such an intense character, he somewhat became a character from which he couldn't return. Now that's dedication, but he aced it. All right. So what do these examples have in common? They all became the top in their profession and the masters of their passions. Whether it be in a business success or a personal growth, what can you use this method for? So the most powerful are human interactions. Want to have a better day? Set the specific intention while falling asleep the night before. Wake up radiating a better day. See what gets reflected back. Want to have better social interactions? Smile first. See what gets reflected back. Want to be treated better by your coworkers? Treat them better first. See what gets reflected back. With each of these, it takes the trial and error of the med system. Okay? It worked here, but it didn't work there. It worked on this person, but it didn't work on that person. So you can use this system for all kinds of things. I use it for food sensitivities and allergies. You can use it for sports and injury conditioning, medical ailments and remedies, anything that allows for a trial and error method. I use this system in conjunction with an EEG to track my brain waves while I was sleeping. And I developed a special sleep regimen and nutrient protocol for myself and for my wife. We modified, we enhanced, we developed, we modified, we enhanced, we developed. And as my body was changing, I modified, enhanced, and developed. I didn't just say, oh, this doesn't work anymore. And as my body or your body or circumstances changes, you make a note of it. Was this just a fluke or is there a pattern developing? And we talked about pattern recognition in many, many of the previous live streams. You should look them up. But keep in mind, be it your personal life or business, and this is very important, write this down. If you can't track it, you can't manage it.
Yeah, that's so true. Now, at its core, this live stream is about embodying one of the most powerful and timeless principles, and that is be the change you want to see in the world. Right?
Yes.
It's a phrase popularized by Gandhi, right? It's isn't just a poetic wisdom. It's a blueprint for transformation, both personal and professional, right? Both individual and societal and global, right? So if your current reality isn't aligning with what you desire, consider this. What if that reality is simply feedback? It's a mirror showing you what part of yourself needs to evolve to create the world you want to experience. Hey, it's a humbling yet empowering truth. Okay? You wield far more influence over your reality than you might think. Even the belief that you have no control is, ironically, proof of your ability to shape your world. Okay, let me illustrate this with a metaphor. Think of the universe as a mirror. Okay, when you stand in front of it, the reflection doesn't judge or interpret, right? It simply reflects what's there. It doesn't go through a decision process before it shows you it just reflects what's there, right? Whether it's a chair, a towel, or even another person walking by. The mirror doesn't decide what to show. It only reflects without bias. But here's the twist. You decide the meaning of what you see, right? For instance, if you look in the mirror and you see a frown, okay, it doesn't frown first. Okay? It waits on you to project the emotion, right? Similarly, your reality doesn't preemptively act. It only reflects your most consistent and congruent thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. So how do you shift that reflection? Well, let's say you want your reality to show more joy. First, recognize that if you can even imagine that level of joy, whatever it is for you, it already exists within you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the capacity to conceive of it. So the key is to consciously express that joy so that the universe can start to reflect it back to you in all the other ways that you want it. So here's four step simple hack that you can take. All right. First, assess where you are. Okay. Take an honest look at your current reality, what's showing up, and how does that feel? So just assess things. Don't judge it, just assess it, just notice it. Then, two, decide where you want to be. All right. So picture the version of yourself living the life you desire. Get specific. Engage all your senses. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? How does it smell? All right. Incorporate all those things into that idea. Then experiment with trying different strategies and approaches that align with that outcome that you want. Right. Because there could be a whole bunch of different techniques, strategies, methods. Try different things until you find the ones, like Ross said, right? You've got to do the process until you find the ones that start to align with the outcome that you want. And then step four is you reflect and you adjust. If the mirror, your reality, smiles back, keep going. But if the reflection isn't what you want, loop back to step one, reassess, and adjust your approach. Right? Think of it as evolution in action, like upgrading your favorite coffee order. Right? First, you might start with the basic, but then as you refine your preferences, a little bit less sugar, please, a little bit more foam, less cream, whatever. Right? You create the perfect blend for you. The same goes for shaping your reality. This process isn't just about external results, it's about aligning with your authenticity. Every action, belief, and emotion you project is woven into the reality and reflected back to you. So why not be intentional about what you're weaving? After all, the mirror is always listening, okay? Never turns off. It's always listening. It's always waiting for you to be the change that it should reflect.
Yeah. So when you see the image in the mirror, who are you actually seeing? Through all the shimmer, who are you actually seeing? And the mirror replies, in most cases, you're gazing upon the past, a compilation of past memories, past filters, and past wishes. All that your mind has created to satisfy its own image and its own ego. So look past the makeup and the hair and the complexion and the clothes and stare deeply into the me-yer, and discover your truest, authentic self. And only then will you be your happiest. So now I'm going to shatter that mirror and delve deeper into the me-yer and learn how to see the future self and your truest potential. Always reminding you how much of an extraordinary being in every way imaginable that you are in the me-yer, and it'll prove it. So take a deep breath. Are you ready for me to prove that your entire reality is contained within you? and it's not out there. We've done this in a previous live stream before, so you can take a look for it. So you're watching us or listening to us on a specific device, right? So let's start with that. Take a look at your device, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your computer. And I want you to enter in the chat, where do you see me, my image? Okay. All right. So you're probably thinking on my phone, on my iPad, my tablet, my computer, my screens. Well, here's the thing. You're all incorrect. The reality is that your eyes took some sensory information in the form of light and shadows and then process it in the brain to give you an idea of what you think you are seeing. Now look around you and realize that everything that you see isn't really there. It's processed in your mind. And therefore, that's where it really exists. You contain it all. It's all a reflection of your perception, and that's it. The outer matrix is the mirror of the internal matrix. What are we really asking from the mirror? Is it really some specially made kind of looking glass? A special kind of reflector? A pretty frame? No. We just want you to pause and take a moment to make sure that you are truly being authentic and that you're not disguising your anxiety as excitement, not burying definitions that you are too afraid to look at. Because you are afraid that if you go searching deeper, looking for the truth, and exploring those negative beliefs, you may find things about yourself that you might be afraid to admit to. Afraid that if you go any deeper, you will discover that those negative beliefs, well, that they're actually true. When in actuality, they will never be true. Never.
Yeah, and they'll never be true because you are a master creator. Right? You are the artist of your life. You're crafted in the image of creation itself. You give life meaning. You are a living, breathing reflection of all that is, exploring this extraordinary reality through your unique lens. Right? Think about it. No one else can be you, not even close. You are the only addition, the original. Authenticity isn't just an idea, it's the essence of who you are. So, what does that mean? It means you are what we call a spiritually evolving life force, yourself, SELF, your spiritually evolving life force, here to bring your unique design to life. You create your world in partnership with your higher mind, the non-physical aspect of you, whatever you want to label or call it, right? And your physical mind, blending the two in harmony as a complete and powerful being. And the life you're living now is that reflection, right? It's yours to shape, it's yours to define. But let's get real for a moment. How are you feeling right now? Truly, are you happy? Are you so? Or maybe you're overwhelmed. And a lot of people are feeling that way. Whatever it is, drop it in the comments and just express it. It's good to get it out. Okay? Do it with an emoji. Whatever you want. Drop it in the comments and whether you're here live or on the replays. Go ahead and do that. Right? Because here's the thing about happiness. It begins the moment you choose to be your truest self. Not the self that conforms to the expectations, not the self that worries about judgment. Okay, those are conditioned selves. Your happiness doesn't depend on anyone's opinion. When you align with who you prefer to be, nothing else matters. Deep down and on a higher level, you already know this to be true. So let me remind you of something powerful. The truth you choose to believe is what shapes your reality. Period. Okay? If you still believe that your truth is dictated by what's happening around you, you're giving away your power. You're just giving it away. And that makes your happiness conditional, makes it fragile, and it makes it dependent on external forces that you have no control over for the most part. But true happiness, the kind that sticks, doesn't break when someone criticizes you or yells at you or says a bad word at you or projects their own fears onto you. Why? Because it's not about you. You see, when people lash out, they're often wrestling with their own inner storms, right? Their own mirror reflections that they don't like, right? They see in you what they're unwilling to face in themselves. So instead of looking inward, they use you as a mirror, projecting their struggles outward. It's their journey, not yours. And here's where your power lies. Okay? You don't have to engage in their storm. You don't have to. You do not have to subscribe to it or participate. You do not have to click the submit button to subscribe at all. Okay? That's a choice. Right? So picture this. In your eye of the storm, you're calm, you're centered. From this vantage point, right? You can see the chaos swirling all around you, but you are untouched. If you choose, you can zoom in on single fragments of the storm. You can examine it and observe it, learn from it, decide what it means to you. You can even pull the whole thing apart piece by piece, redefine it, and flip it into something so absurd that it loses all its power over you. Then, when you hold up your mirror, you reflect back your truth, not theirs. And guess what? Then the storm begins to shift. It can't help but respond to your unwavering clarity. So you have this power. You always have. You've always had it. The question is, are you ready to use it? Okay. If you are, let us know. Reach out to us. Drop it in the comments. Okay. What piece of your reality are you ready to reshape today? Because your mirror is waiting and it will reflect whatever you decide.
Exactly. So the me, your in itself, is designed to contrast the conflict, which usually comes by invalidating judgments or preconceived beliefs or notions that you think what should be represented at any given relationship, rather than allowing them to be seen for why they're truly there. All of these are the product of unconditional love in the sense that it is why you agree to interact with others, allowing yourself to experience other individuals unconditionally. That's happiness with no judgment. And many individuals in our society will not allow themselves to know whether they are complete and happy until they have certain conditions are met. I'll be happy when. I'll be in love when. I'll find the right person when. But when they proceed through life in this manner, they will generally only wind up attracting into their lives relationships and circumstances that will reflect their belief of their own incompleteness. And that's sad. That perception of incompleteness continues to pervade their entire existence. But if you think you need something else in order to complete yourself, in order to give yourself a reason other than just being yourself to be happy, then you will not actually relate to others because you believe yourself to be incomplete. You will not project anything to relate to except a shadow of yourself, of your own doubts and your own beliefs of incompleteness. So when you intrinsically know that you are a complete and happy individual, then you will attract into your life an abundance of relationships and synchronicities that will reflect your completeness and ultimate happiness. So if that's the case, we we have to look at what prevents people from being happy so that we can assess what and where in the universal matrix we need to apply a hack to create a transformation of some kind. It's like they get down, beat down by society's incessant spewing of negativity and fear and despair, and they just give up. Remember last week on the stream, I said that there are habits that you want to establish in order to master the art of designing your reality. There was the habit consistently being willing to be extraordinary. Hard to be extraordinary if you are at the mercy of the messages and examples that one can get bombarded with from most media around the world. The other habit I mentioned was to develop a daily routine of meditation and exercise again. If your energy is being drained by all the stresses and the worries and the anxieties of what goes on in the world on a daily basis, it's challenging to shut it all out and just be okay with yourself, spiritually evolving life force. But it's critical if you want to establish that final habit of following your passion. Following your passion is the shortest and the quickest and the most direct way of living life at your happiest. And as you can see, there are many nuances to the idea and the concept of the mirror. So your intention today was to explore how to navigate these complexities of the business world while remaining true to your core values, your core purpose, and your core vision. If you'd like to continue your path of infinite mastery with us, well, there's a couple of options for you. First, you can continue coming to our live streams. Please like, subscribe, and please share with your friends and soak up the lessons that we offer, along with the interviews that we do and with all the top experts and thought leaders. And then second, you can join one of our over 10,000 member private groups. There's Expanding Beyond Business Mastery, where we deal with the challenges of businesses from startup operations to marketing and PR, or our Evolving Reality Within the Infinity Matrix, where we spend more of our time in the realm of the metaphysical and its application to your spiritual and your personal and your business life. And thirdly, is to join us on a one-on-one call. We call it Roots, Rise, and Roar call. And to qualify, it's an intricate part of a very select community of people who are focused on shattering their mirror in order to master their world of community and collaboration. And if you'd like to know more about this, just drop a hashtag RRR, okay? Roots, Rise, Roar. Just drop it in the comments and or send either Gary or myself a DM, and we'll send you a calendar link, and we'll just set up a time. We'll just talk. And I think we have some openings. I think it's coming up in January. And this isn't not a hidden sales call. It's nothing like that. It's more of a qualification experience to even see if you're a match for our skills and in your objectives, and our skills are a match for your objectives and your challenges as well. So, we'd love to hear from you, Gary.
Yeah, and with
Anything
that,
else?
then, we want to sincerely thank you for joining us live or catching the replay for this training. It's been an honor to share this space with you. We're into our fifth year of live streams, which is crazy. And as you notice, we are doing our best to fine tune our live streams even more, to keep them shorter, more impactful, packed with actionable insights. Your feedback on the format means the world to us. So don't hold back. Let us know what worked, what didn't, what could be done better. Keep in mind that, if you vote for longer sessions, that only means that Ross gets to go on more and more and on and on. And be careful what you wish for. All right, you've been warned.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. So we'd like to leave you with our signature dare. We dare you to be exceptional, not only today, but tomorrow and every day after that. The only way to do that is to implement what you learn from what you implement. Until next time, stay true to yourself, stay authentic, and above all, keep reflecting the change you want to see in the world. We're coming to a place in our society, in our global society now, where that's becoming more and more important, and we can't emphasize it anymore. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See ya. Bye-bye.